This is the AFZ-1200P flex cutting machine used for finger cutting belts in preparation for a flex-proof splice. The width capacity of the machine in one pass is 50 inches, but the machine is open-throated, so you can cut a belt oversized, wider than 50 inches by indexing the belt after each cut. So to begin the finger cutting of the belt, we'll introduce the first end of the belt into the cutter. You have an edge guide here to keep the belt square to the cutter, and a hold down lever here which secures the belt in place from moving during the cutting. This cutter is operated with an air cylinder, so you need a compressed air source to power the cutter. And beyond that, it's just a foot pedal that operates the cutter and an indexing lever for indexing between the individual cuts. So after making the first cut by depressing the foot pedal, we lift up the stop and rotate 2 full rotations for the 20 by 80 fingers, the 20 millimeter pitch. Press the foot pedal again to make the next cut, and then repeat. 2 turns. Slide the belt out, and there's our first finger cut end. Okay, now we're going to cut the opposite end of the belt. For the opposite end of the belt, you need to invert the belt. So by inverting the belt for the second side, we're keeping the same edge up against the stop, which will keep our cut indexed. We also need to offset the cutting head, so there's a half a finger offset between the first end and the second end. For the 20 millimeter pitch, we accomplish this by making 1 full revolution, and then we can begin our cutting. So first cut, 1, 2 turns, and all the way back across the belt. Now we release the belt. We've cut the second end, and the 2 ends mate together perfectly, even on the edges. The AFZ-1200P can cut any of the finger geometries with a 10 millimeter pitch or a multiple of a 10 millimeter pitch. In this case, the 20 by 80 fingers that we just cut. Here's the 10 by 80, and here's a 20 by 50. So we're going to switch to the narrower finger now, the 10 by 80. Okay. To interchange the heads, we simply loosen the 2 cap screws in the top of the head, and the cutting head slides out. Slide the cutting head into the slot, and we'll tighten the 2 cap screws to hold the cutting head securely in place. First, we'll introduce the first end of the belt into the cutter, secure the belt in place with the hold down lever. And now, since we're making a 10 millimeter pitch cut, we'll make the first cut, and then we'll just rotate 1 full circle instead of 2 to index 10 millimeters instead of 20. Make the second cut, and then just repeat across the belt. 1 turn, and cut. And so now we've cut all the way across, clear of the belt. See, here's our finger cut. So we'll open the lever to release the belt. Again, to cut the second end of the belt, we're going to invert the belt so that we had the same edge indexed on the starting point. Position the belt, lock it in place with the lever. Now to accomplish the offset of the fingers on the 10mm pitch, since we only turned one single revolution for each 10mm cut, what we have to do is offset the cutter 90 degrees. This is accomplished by turning this ring around until it clicks. It's now 180 degrees off its original position, and this becomes the cutting position now. So we make our first cut, one turn, cut, and repeat. So now we've made our last cut. Release the hold down lever. There's the finger cut off the second end of the belt. The AFZ-1200P is also capable of making a finger over finger splice or a step flex proof splice. The 20x50 head is utilized for that cut. The belt is ply split. The first flap is introduced into the machine and cut with the head in the back position. Then you remove the first end, introduce the second flap of the belt, index the head forward to the second position and make the cut, and that gives you the two finger cuts and the two flaps of the belt offset by half their length for a step flex